The second set of rounds is identical to the previous rounds except three changes. The first new change is that farmers can have a third option, alternative. Just like before, farmers pay their 10 tokens and then take water from the public irrigation infrastructure to grow crop. This is the first option. The second option is that farmers hold payment and just keep their 10 tokens. Now the third option is that each farmer does not pay to the provider and instead invest to an alternative water source that is privately owned. Farmers then take water from this alternative water source to grow crop. This choice is denoted as alt. It's important to know that because the alternative water source is privately owned, the choice alt is not affected by the decisions of other players. The second new change is that farmers can have also a fourth option, petition. The fourth option is that farmers petition to the provider to improve the infrastructure while still paying 10 tokens to provider to take water. However, note that petition is costly to both farmers and the provider. For the farmers, petition is costly because they have to spend their time and energy to do this. And for the provider, petition by a farmer is also costly because the provider has to spend time and energy to handle or respond to the petition. More specifically, at the beginning of each round, each farmer is endowed with 10 tokens. Each farmer then decides what to do with these endowments between four options: hold, pay, alt, and petition. Basically, earnings from hold and pay are calculated in the same way as before. First, if a farmer decides to hold 10 tokens and does not pay to the provider, the farmer will just earn 10 tokens. Second, if a farmer decides to pay 10 tokens, then there are two possible outcomes. When the irrigation infrastructure is fully functional, the farmer will earn 15 tokens. Otherwise, when the irrigation infrastructure is minimally functional, the farmer will earn 5 tokens. Now let me explain how a farmer's earning is calculated when the farmer chooses the third option, alt, or the fourth option, petition. If a farmer chooses alt and does not pay to the provider, then the farmer will earn 11 tokens. But if a farmer chooses petition, then it will cost him or her 2 tokens. But note that by doing so, it will also cost the provider 5 tokens. So when a farmer decides a petition to the provider, then there are two possible outcomes. When the irrigation infrastructure is fully functional, the farmer will earn 13 tokens because of 2 tokens are deducted for making petition. Again, this is because making petition is costly to the farmer, that is, the farmer has to spend time and energy to make petition. And when the irrigation infrastructure is minimally functional, the farmer will earn 3 tokens because of 2 tokens are deducted for the same reason. Provider has the same options as the previous rounds, keep and invest. However, unlike the previous rounds, the provider's earning will be deducted by 5 tokens for each farmer choosing petition. This is because the provider has to spend time and energy to handle or respond to a petition. So, from the provider's perspective, it will be costly to receive petition from the farmers. If the provider decides to keep, the provider will earn the collected tokens deducted by 5 tokens for each farmer choosing petition. And if a provider decides to invest, the provider will earn the tokens remaining after the collected tokens are deducted by both investment cost and petitions. The investment cost is 15 tokens, and the tokens deducted because of petitions are calculated in the same way as above. Here's an example. Let's suppose that 2 farmers chose petition and 1 farmer chooses pay. Then the provider received 30 tokens from the 3 farmers. If the provider decides to invest, the provider has 15 tokens after investing 15 tokens. However, because 2 farmers chose petition, 10 tokens will be further deducted from the provider's earning. Thus, the provider will earn only 5 tokens. The third new change to these rounds is the group chat. Now all players, both farmers and provider, can communicate with one another using a group chat window. You can send text messages to other participants for 60 seconds at the beginning of each round. That is, a farmer can communicate with other 2 farmers as well as the provider, and the provider can also communicate with the 3 farmers. You can communicate with each other about any aspect of the exercise for 60 seconds at the beginning of each round. However, there are 2 restrictions. You are not allowed to promise the other participants side payments or threaten them with any consequences after the experiment is finished, and you are not allowed to reveal your identity. Note that group chat does not affect both farmers and the provider's earning, because your earnings are determined only by what 3 farmers and the provider chose among the available decisions options. Next, you will take a short quiz, and after that, you will be playing the second set of rounds.